what if the numbers doesn't add up, but the life does? So I started this new job, and as you know from my previous videos, that I had quit my old job, and honestly, I thought my paycheck would look a lot different. And after all the taxes and deductions, it's only really $700 more than my previous job. And while that is still a lot of money in this today's economy, I was expecting a little bit different. It's not exactly the big leap that I expected financial wise when it comes to my nurse practitioner, career. But here's the thing, even with the $700 more per paycheck, I would choose this job again if given the option in a heartbeat. And let me tell you why. Hi, my name is Elaine. I am a nurse practitioner who is also a financial educator, and I teach nurses how to invest and build wealth. And in today's video, I want to talk about, the value of our careers as nurses and what we should be looking for when it comes to finding jobs. A couple months ago, actually, I got this job a few months ago, earlier this year. When I got the job offer, I can vividly remember, how it happened. It was a Friday, and I got a phone call from the recruiter giving me the actual number of the pay that they're offering me for this job. And as soon as I hear that pay, I was like, ding, 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 ding. There's a big jump. I'm going to take it. And I calculated really how much I would be making, and I had certain expectations. But once I saw my paycheck for the past, month, and actually today is my payday, and I got the actual pay that I'm going to be getting every 2 weeks, I realized that after the taxes, the benefits, retirement contributions, it really trims that number down. And if I'm being honest, I was actually, part of me felt a little disappointed. And I really started asking myself if I even made the right decision of switching jobs. If you want to know how much I got paid from my previous job, I made a video about it right here that you can check out. I talked about my payday routine and how much I got paid from my previous job. But essentially, I am only getting paid $700 more from that, considering it is a big jump from moving to different cities, relocating my whole family, starting over again, losing my seniority as a nurse practitioner. So I really, really right now have been contemplating if I really made the right decision when it comes to my career. But then, you know what? I zoomed out and I really looked at my long-term financial goals and personal goals as well. And I know that I didn't just switch jobs for the money. I switched really for the quality of life, and that is where things really started to feel a little different. Talk a little bit about the unexpected wins, which are the benefits beyond just the paycheck. And I really had to sit down and think about this, because one of the things that I have been trying to practice is more gratitude and just appreciation for what I have at the present moment. And when things seem to be a little bit blurry as far as if I'm making the right decision or not in life, I try to really sit down and look at the bright side. And I am a firm believer that everything is just, perspective. And so I had to sit down and write down the things that I really love about this job, and maybe the things that you should also look for when you're looking for jobs. This job has really given me some real life-giving perks that don't really show up as numbers in the paycheck. Number one that I really appreciate is that there is a walking path here at work. And I don't know about you, but I love walking. I love putting on my audiobook. And if you have been on my Instagram, you can see that it's in my stories all the time, that I love, walking. It really clears my mind. It's either I would walk in silence or I would put on an audiobook or a podcast. And there is a walking path here right by our office, which is really nice. I walk every day, get 10K steps a day, and during my lunchtime or even breaks in between patients, I would be walking. That is really 15 minutes of fresh air, and I feel like mentally this has saved me. Back in my old job, I would be walking in our parking lot, and if you followed me on TikTok, you would see that is my background all the time when I'm walking during my lunch break. And this is nice because you can see the trees, the breeze is so nice. So to me, that is a really good perk. Number two is my schedule. So I already have a really great schedule in my old job. Like I work 4 10-hour shifts, and I'm very thankful for that schedule, but I didn't think that it could actually get better. And so in my new role, I work a hybrid schedule, meaning that I work in office and also remotely. So I work 4 days a week, and I work 2 days in office and 2 days in clinic. And I feel like this has given me more flexibility as far as like being more at home with my family, and also not having to sit in traffic and having that long commute every day. And if you drive for work, or like for like long drives at work, how draining that could be. Right now I'm still on orientation, so I'm in the office like 5 days a week. And here in California, or at least in the Bay Area, the traffic is, yeah, like I feel like I'm wasting my life away sitting in traffic for like over an hour. So that this hybrid schedule is really great. It has really cut down on that unnecessary, driving. Number three is less patient load. And in my old job, I feel like we were overworked, and it's like one patient after the other. And in this role that I have right now, we have more breathing room. I get to have more time to spend with my patients and actually provide better care and feel like a better provider, and not just like, like always concerned about the numbers. And to me, this is one of ways to reduce your burnout as a provider in the healthcare, industry, is to be able to feel like you're actually making a difference, and being able to have that time to actually sit down with the patient, take care of them. I think it's a really great way to not feel so burnt out in this profession. So that is another benefit of this job, and that I'm really, really excited, starting on. Number four, professional growth. And I have always been a career person almost all my life. I've always been that go-getter. I want to achieve this. I mean, I guess growing up, academic validation has always been a thing of mine, but it's important for me as a person to also grow professionally. And I really like that in this new position that I have, that there's so much room for growth, and being able to specialize even more in healthcare, because I used to do pulmonary and sleep, and now I'm just doing sleep. I feel that I'm really learning in my profession. And in the past, month that I've been here, I felt like I've learned more than in the past year that I've been at my previous job. I felt like in my previous job, I've hit like a ceiling, and I am somebody who always wants to constantly grow. And I feel that this new position has given me that option to grow even more in my career. And there's a lot of opportunities to really be more involved in my specialty. And I think I really like that. And I like just, this morning we're doing lectures for sleep medicine. Getting really good at what I do is something that's really important with me as somebody who loves to learn. So yeah, so that is another perk. Number five is more PTO hours. And I was looking at my paycheck or like my benefits and pay and my time off. It's over a month now, and I already have like 24 hours of PTO. And I think in my previous job, I would have taken like months in order to get that PTO hours. Having PTO or paid time off is essential to really rest and recover, because we need to take breaks sometimes from our work. No matter how much I love working and being productive and all that stuff, that having that rest is also essential. If your employer gives you enough PTO to recover and rest, they respect you as a person and not just like somebody who's working for the company. And then lastly, sixth benefit that I had write down for this new job is that it's a better weather where I'm at. I moved to the Bay Area, and I knew before moving here that the cost of living is going to be way higher than where we were at before. And that is something that I had considered, is that like, is it even worth it to move knowing that we're probably going to end up renting a house, we're probably going to end up spending way more in expenses. And just the weather alone, I think, is enough, because right now it's summer and the weather is in the 70s. And this may sound really small for some people and something that not a lot of people consider, but it's important for me to live in a place where I'm able to take my kids out in the park, go out for a walk, no matter what time of the year it is. And we love being outside. Before having kids, I've always loved hiking and being outdoors. And for some reason, I felt like I had stopped being that person and I just want to stay at home all the time. And it could be postpartum too, but I love the outdoors. I love being in nature. And this really has made a difference in my mood and energy. And to me, that's very, very important, like more than the amount of pay that would be. So those are just some of the things that I have put down as things that are perks outside of the paycheck that is making me think that this is the best decision for me and my family. And even though the move has been really stressful, finding a rental place has been really stressful, I probably should make a video of that, because I do want you to see the reality of like renting a house here in California, or even actually finding a rental place as a small family here in California. It's so stressful. But yeah, like I think that even though I question my decisions sometimes, at the end of the day, it's worth it. As nurses, as professionals, and as somebody who have big financial goals long term, we have to redefine what's worth it in our careers. And I know we were taught to always chase the biggest paychecks. And yes, I understand that compensation matters and that you have to know your worth as a nurse. But sometimes the things that don't, show up on the paper are really what changes our lives. And, this job may only be $700 difference in my take-home pay. And like I said, $700 is a lot of money. That could be a car note, that could be your groceries and everything. But with all the trade-offs, sometimes you'd have to consider. But in my case right now, the peace of mind, the growth, my energy, my mental health, the flexibility, the weather, and the version of me that feels more aligned and less burnt out is really what makes this worth it. And I think I am so happy to be in a place now where I am not really working just for a paycheck anymore. I am really working for the life that I want. And I think that's what being financially free really means. And if you're a nurse and you want to be financially free and be able to work for the life that you want versus just for the paycheck or versus just surviving, then investing really is something that you need to do. So if you want that, make sure that you check out my investing class down below. I have a lot of free resources also for nurses in my blog to help you learn more about money, because this is something that we deserve. So yeah, so if you're thinking about a job change, don't just ask what it pays you. Don't just look at the numbers. Ask what it will give you mentally, physically, and even emotionally. And yeah, so thank you for watching and letting me share this transition with you. Let me know in the comments down below, what are the other non-monetary, benefits that matter to you when it comes to like finding a job. I would love to hear it, so make sure you comment down below. And if you are navigating job changes, burnout, and trying to make your income work for you, subscribe to this channel, because it's something that I love to talk with and conversate with you with. I'm sharing more about my journey to financial freedom as a nurse without hustling to exhaustion. So I will see you in the next video. Bye.